Hey guys, this is going to be a T13 speed guide for multi-shots on Hollowed Essence. I'm just going to run through the pieces with you real quick and the setup that I use, and yeah, everything else should be in the guide, so I'm going to try and run through it as quickly as possible just so that it doesn't drag on. So just one sec here. We're going to start off with what you need. You need your Unhallowed Essence set, so 6-piece. You got Hellwalkers, Unholy Plates, Fiendish Grips, Unsanctified Shoulders, Accursed Visage, and Cage of the Hellborn. We're going to start off with how the set works. Generators Multishot and Vengeance deal 100% increased damage for every point of discipline you have. So discipline's important on the pieces you can get it on. We just get it on the pieces we can get it on, which are your bow, your dead man's, and your chest. And then everything else you just roll according to the guide that I posted online there. But we'll run down it quick. Ideal stats: Dex, Vit, All Res, Multishot for boots. It's just because Demon Hunter is a Dex class, so All Res is good. You know, this is what you want. Armor and everything is okay. It's just Torment, whatever. But as you go higher, All Res is really important, so get it where you can get it. Unholy Plates, same thing. You want generally Dex, Vit, All Res, 2 sockets, and then life per kill second would be great on it, but just because it's Torment doesn't matter. Again, you know, I'll make different guide for higher GRs or whatever, but for Torment, this is fine. Mine rolled armor, it's whatever, that's okay. I have All Res gems in my chest and my pants, but you can use Dex gems if you want a little bit more damage for Torment, that's fine, because you probably won't die because we're using Gold Wrap and Boon of the Hoarder, which synergize to give you more armor, and you basically just will never die. So Fiendish Grips can roll a bunch of different ways, but generally you want Dex, crit hit damage, crit hit chance as close to 50, and 10 crit hit chance. 50 crit hit damage, 10 crit hit chances you can get. And then the third roll is optional. You can roll cooldown if you need it for full Vengeance uptime. 7 attack speed's fine. Area damage depending on what you're doing. Any of those are fine. Secondary res, not important. Can be Fizz, Fire, whatever. Fizz is generally what a lot of people go for, or Fire, whatever, but I've got Cold, that's fine. It's just Torment, same thing. And you can make do if you're decent at the build and you practice. Unsanctified Shoulders, always going to roll with All Res and Dex, so mine rolled Dex, Vit, All Res, cooldown, that's fine. I rolled the cooldown on it, I should say. You want it 8 cooldown here if you can help it, just to keep full Vengeance uptime. You know, instead of Vit, area damage would be okay if you're pushing, whatever, but generally this is how they roll, and this is fine. Again, for pushing, area damage would probably be better than Vit, but, you know, that doesn't matter for Torment. Cage of the Hellborn, mine rolled Dex, Vit. I can't remember what the other skill was, or what the other one was. I want to say something stupid, maybe armor, so I rolled life percent just because it's better. But again, doesn't matter, it's Torment, you can pretty much have whatever, you're not going to die. But yeah, Dex, Vit, I rolled life percent just because it's my best choice. And then the important thing is, you see 186 poison, that doesn't matter, but the 12 discipline, you want as close to 12 as you can get, because your 6-piece, again, reads 100% increased damage for every point of discipline you get. So you want as close to 12 discipline as you can possibly get, because every point of discipline is 100% damage. Accursed Visage, Dex, crit hit chance, and multi-shot damage. This is the ideal rolls. This is how you want it to roll. It always rolls with Dex, and then your stat priority should be crit hit chance over the multi-shot damage. So if it rolls, let's say Dex, Vit, and I don't know, grenades or something, or cluster arrow, like, then you're going to want to roll that cluster arrow to crit hit chance instead of multi-shot, just because your crit hit chance is going to give you more damage. Multi-shot is additive to your skill damage, so it doesn't scale quite as well as crit hit chance. So generally you're going to take crit hit chance over multi-shot if you have to choose between the two, but if you can get both, that's great. And mine only has 5 crit hit chance, but that's whatever. So I mean, this is fine because it's the ideal rolls, like that's how I want it to roll, so it's fine. Amulet, you can use whatever you want. Mine, you just want, for my setup, I'm using fire, so it's fire, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and socket. But, you know, if it's crit hit chance, crit hit damage, dex, that's fine too, or fire, crit hit damage, that's fine too. Generally, you're going to want to, your stat priorities are going to be probably your crit hit damage first and the socket, and then fire damage and crit hit chance last, just because your crit hit chance, you're overstated on crit hit chance in this build just because we use an offhand. So crit hit damage and fire are probably going to give you a bit more damage than crit hit chance, but again, personal preference. For Nemesis Bracers, you're going to want fire and crit hit chance. And then I've got dex and bit, that's ideal. Secondary doesn't really matter as much. Mine rolled health globe pickup, so that's good too, just for this build, because we're going to be moving fast, trying to pick up stuff fast, so the more radius we got, the better. For jewelry, I use Rochelle's Ring of Larceny and Stone of Jordan. Rochelle's gives you move speed based on if you fear an enemy. It procs itself. A lot of people were asking, how do you fear things? It's because the secondary, you see it says 2.4% chance to fear on hit. It rolls between 1 and 5.1, so it's going to proc itself. And because you're popping off a lot of multi-shots fast, it's going to proc itself a lot, even though it is only like, mine's only 2.4. But you're shooting so many multis so fast that it's just going to proc a lot anyways. It doesn't matter. It'll proc itself. Stats are crit hit chance, crit hit damage, dex, but, you know, instead of your dex, you could have eerie damage, attack speed, cooldown, doesn't matter as long as it rolls with the socket like this. Damage stats, you're good. Stone of Jordan, I've got fire, crit hit, damage, and elite damage. Excuse me. And, socket. The reason why we use Stone of Jordan is because the secondary rolls between 8 and 10 discipline. So again, that goes back to the 6 piece. For every point of discipline, we're getting 100% damage. So because this rolled 9, I'm getting 900% extra damage from it. So that's really good because we're not running a COE, so we're just going with inherent damage from getting more discipline from the Stone of Jordan. Plus it gives you fire damage, which adds to the elemental, which we're using, you know, fire multi-shot, so that's good too. And then elite damage, because this is pretty much just an elite hunter build, and we just kill elites for, you know, the better unique chance, like better chance of getting the uniques and, you know, death breath, whatever else, and we just generally want to pop through the rift, killing elites, and this helps us do that. So ideal stats are the way it rolled here. You want as close to 20 fire as you can get, as close to 50 crit hit damage as you can get, and elite damage, socket, and discipline, and then secondary is unimportant kind of thing. The rings are optional. You can use different stuff. You know, you can use focus restraint, you can use COE. There's lots of different stuff, but this is just my setup. Yang's recurve. An important note, your bows can roll discipline, so you see mine has 12 rolled on it, and I did roll it because it didn't come with discipline. It is important to roll it on there, again, because it relates to the 6-piece set. Every point you get of discipline is 100% damage, so this is giving us 1200% damage. Ideal rolls would be 10% damage roll, 12 discipline, and then instead of it, probably area damage or whatever you want, attack speed, doesn't matter, like depending on what you're doing. But yeah, generally you want the 12 discipline. And then as high as secondary as you can get. Mine rolled 198 out of 200. That's pretty good. If you get a 150 or something, you know, don't worry. Yeah, it sucks that it rolled low, but you know, it's still usable until you can find something better. But generally you do want as close to 200 as you can get, and it is important. So I wouldn't generally for pushing use anything below 195 probably, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So if you can't find something as good, don't worry about it. They'll all work, but you know, as long as it's got the discipline rolls and everything, otherwise you're gonna struggle. And then finally, Dead Man's Legacy, the double tap quiver, multi-shot hits enemies below 60% twice, and its damage increased by 200%. So as soon as we drop enemies below 60%, they're going to be hitting getting hit by the multi-shot twice, like bang bang, which is real good. This can roll discipline. Mine rolled with discipline. It is primal. This is really good. But unfortunately, it didn't roll ideal. We rolled cooldown on it just because we want full vengeance uptime or as close to it as possible, just because it directly affects how much hatred we can generate, and it gives us a 40% damage buff. So it rolls with attack speed, it rolls with crit hit chance, and then dex always, and then ideally this, instead of life percent, it would have rolled, let's say, multi-shot, and I wouldn't have had to roll the cooldown on it, and then it would have been, you know, attack speed, crit hit chance, 8 cooldown, 15 multi-shot, and then for pushing, instead of dexterity, we might even roll the dexterity to 20% area damage, depending on player personal preference and paragon. But yeah, generally this is what you want. The cooldown and multi-shot, you know, it's kind of interchangeable. You just go with whatever you need. I needed cooldown, so I put cooldown. Run through the build quick. I use awareness, hot pursuit, blood vengeance, and tactical advantage. You don't have to use awareness. You could use another damage passive if you're light. I just use it to keep pools because they give you more experience when you're doing GRs and for the hand-ins. So it's 20% extra, or 20 or 25 when you hand in, so it's a lot of bonus experience. So I generally just don't want to lose my pool, so I'm being safe with awareness, but you could change it if you needed damage. You could use ambush, call the weak, you could use thrill of the hunt to slow enemies, or, you know, steady aim, whatever. Any of them are good. I'd probably choose, if I was gonna go with something, probably just the ambush or thrill of the hunt to slow enemies, but any of them are fine. Like, it's all good. I just use it as an extra safeguard to keep my pool. Hot Pursuit just gives you 20% movement speed when you hit enemies, straightforward, just going faster. Blood Vengeance, maximum hatred is increased by 25, that doesn't matter. In addition, you get 30 hatred and 3 discipline when you're healed by a health globe. That's important because we're vaulting around a lot, so you're getting your discipline and hatred back, so you just don't have to stop. Tactical advantage, whenever you use vault, shadow power, smoke screen, or backflip, with evasive fire, you gain 60% movement speed for 2 seconds. So again, straightforward, just giving you move speed. We're getting through the rift faster. As you can see, it speeds you up. Now I slow down. So yeah, we're just getting through the rift faster. And then I'm using Preparation and Invigoration, instantly restores 30 discipline, so you can get discipline back to add to your pool, so you're doing more damage. And then permanently increase maximum discipline by 20, so again, that's adding to your 6-piece set bonus, because every point of discipline is adding 100% damage, so it's 2000% damage. So it's just the best rune you can get. It's adding straight damage and a way to top up your discipline. I use Evasive Fire just because I want to be able to generate some of my discipline back and hatred if you need it, but again, you don't necessarily need it. You could swap it with smoke screen displacement for extra move speed, or I think it's shadow power with, let's see, I gotta check, shadow power with shadow glide for movement speed or whatever. A lot of different options if you just want to go faster, but I use it for the reasons I mentioned, you know, getting discipline back and whatever if I'm low. Wolf Companion, you could use whatever companion you want. I choose Wolf just for more damage. Tumble, just because on Vault. Tumble, just because it gives you more vaults after using your vault within 6 seconds. Has its discipline reduced by half, so first one costs 8, second one costs 4, but because we're using Pride's Fall on the cube, they cost even less, so it just gives us more vaults. Multi-Shot Arsenal, the fire rune, 360% damage. Every time I shoot, launches 3 rockets that deal 300% damage. Some people argue, you know, that cold, whatever, blah 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 is better. I don't think this is true. I think fire is good because it shoots off rockets and they heat seek enemies and they actually do kill them in Torment. So the Wind Chill rune is actually giving you 8% crit hit chance, which is kind of whatever. It's kind of crap, but you know, like, people can use whatever they want. If they like it, it's fine. It literally doesn't matter that much, but I think Arsenal is probably the best. And then finally, Vengeance Seethe. This just gives us hatred, so it gives us 10 hatred per second, which helps us for multi-shots. And then it also gives us the 40% increased damage or whatever, so, you know, as much uptime on Vengeance as possible is really good. Just helps us do more damage and not bottom on hatred when we're shooting multi-shots, because we want to be able to pop off while we're going through the rift real quick. Oh, I forgot here too, Gold Wrap. We're using Gold Wrap just because it synergizes with Boon of the Hoarder. When we kill enemies, they spit out gold, and then the Boon of the Gold Wrap gives us armor for every bit of gold we get. So because we're getting so much gold, it pretty much makes us invulnerable because our armor goes through the roof. You can use Witching Hour, whatever else you want, just for more damage if you need it. But generally, I use Gold Wrap just because it gives us more gold and it helps us to empower GRs and everything, because it gives us extra gold inherently, plus actual like near invulnerability when we pick up gold. Follower, pretty straightforward. I choose all the left side just because I think they're the best. Gives you a heal, gives you life per second, stuns enemies, and then this one for Demon Hunter, it gives us 1 hatred per second. This is more important when we're pushing, but I just leave it the same because it doesn't matter for Torment. Don't Die token. Thunder Fury, you could use Yun Jang Do for preference. I like Thunder Fury. Slows enemies, they do less attacks, less damage. Essa Johan for grouping enemies because it has 80% slow and chance to pull them together. So it pulls them together, good for area damage, slows them, keeps us off of them, or keeps them off of us. And yeah, good for grouping, good for area damage, whatever. And then Oculus Ring, this is really the most important thing, as well as the Don't Die token. The rest is not as important, but still ideal setup. You want as close to 85 as you can get, because they spawn those little Oculus circles on the ground, those little white circles, and when you jump in them, it gives you 85% multiplicative damage. That's like really important. It's crazy important, and it's like one of the biggest damage boosts in the game, because 85% multiplicative damage is nuts. Takes precedence over almost anything, so you want to hop in those circles when you can. Not really for Torment, but for GRs, just as a note, you know, very, very important. So you always want to have one of these on your follower, no matter what class you're playing, no matter what follower you're using too, and as close to 85% as possible. Other ring doesn't matter, but I use Obsidian because I think it helps its cooldowns. I'm not sure, but it's kind of whatever. You can use whatever you want. And then yeah, so that's the build, that's the gear, that's pretty much how it works. Again, you can supplement however you want, and then I'll do a quick rift here just to show you, and you know, it should be within like a minute to 2 minutes max, and you just pop off in the rift and you go. So here we go, start it up. So we activate our Vengeance, we start shooting multi-shots, and we just run around killing stuff. You know, find elites if you can, picking up gold. You can see that avarice band that I've got in the cube. Sorry, I'll run down the cube again after this, I forgot it. Picking up test press and all the goodies. But we're generally just vaulting through, killing everything. You can see I got a good map, so open maps are generally really, really fast and good. So just killing enemies really quick. I'm already like, you know, over a quarter done the rift. It is not as good a map, but you see my disciplines like bottoming, so I hit my preparation to top it up there, just because how much discipline we have directly affects how much damage we're doing. So you know, I top it up there just so that I do more damage, because if you're missing discipline, it does count against you for that 100%. Every point you're missing actually does affect how much damage you do. Common misconception, people think that you know, it just matters like the top end, like the pool that you have. That's not true. There's an Oculus, doesn't matter, but I hop in it. And yeah, generally you just run through as quickly as possible. So it's been like, I don't know, 45 seconds maybe a minute so far. Nearing done.
Not ready yet.
And yeah, that tumble rune is just like letting us vault way more, you know. Barely losing any discipline, we're just going through the rift as quickly as possible.
I'm still waiting.
I just try and pick up stuff as quick as I can, you know, try and get through it as quickly as possible, just because I like efficiency. You can take your time if you want, you know, but generally that's what it's for. at the Rift Guardian already. So, yep, there you go. He's dead, just like that. It's that easy. Pick up my stuff and close the rift.
I need to go back.
So yeah, that's how quick it is. That's how much damage it does. Yeah, I've got my pieces enchanted and everything, but you know, there's other ways you can cheese your damage if you don't have as much. Like I said, you know, you can use witching, you can use convention, you can use green gems instead of the white gems. You know, I just like keeping my pools, but you probably won't die even with green gems in because you're just indestructible with the gold wrap. And yeah, that's pretty much the build. I'll make other build videos soon in the future here. I just wanted to get this one up as soon as I could. This is my first video actually, so there will be more to come. But yeah, that's the Torment Speed build, the one I use. You know, if you guys have questions or comments, you know, just leave them and I'll check it out. But hope you enjoy the guide. Hope you have fun. Oh yeah, the cube. Dawn for 65% vengeance uptime or cooldown helps cool down the vengeance, so you have closer uptime. That's why we only need 2 or 3 cooldown rolls. Pride's Fall, resource costs are reduced by 30% after not taking damage for 5 seconds, and Avarice Band. Avarice Band, each time you pick up gold, increase your gold and health pickup radius for 1 yard for 10 seconds, stacking up to 30 times, so it becomes a huge radius. That's why when you saw us going through the rift and we were vaulting, just picked up all the globes and everything, which helped replenish our hatred and discipline because of the blood vengeance, and then the gold as well for our armor for the gold wrap. But yeah, that's generally the build. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. You just like blow through torment like nobody's business, super fast. But like I was saying, if you got any questions or comments, just leave them and I'll try and check them out. And yeah, if you want to check me out, I'm at Twitch TV, Untamed Girth, or whatever. And I'm generally streaming like at least 5-6 times a week, sometimes more. Stop by and say hi. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy and hope to see you in the future.